not giving you up.
Wow, Dave Tweedie, Victoria Theodore, here we are again at a NAMM Show.
At a NAMM Show
right,
in
once
person.
again.
Yay.
Good to see you, Rod.
So wonderful to see you too.
Great to see you.
Absolutely.
When do you start your tour?
We leave May 29th.
Yeah, we're out.
And we go to Italy first for a couple of private house concerts, which we love doing. And then we have a tour in venues in Berlin.
And then we have a few more dates after to Italy. Then we bounce to Netherlands.
To The Hague.
To The Hague. We're playing at the U.S. Embassy, doing a small gig
cool.
there.
Very cool.
And then we're going to London and playing a gig in London, I think on the 7th. And we might try to put something else around that, but we'll see.
Man, I'm going to have to schedule a trip over to Europe to see you guys.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
come on.
So is the record out now?
So yeah, we got singles out. We have our third single is coming out
May
on
2nd.
May 2nd, and then
May 2nd.
June.
We don't have a date on that one yet. But around
mid-June, our next single will come out. So each month, our singles will be coming out. It's just an
cool.
EP.
Okay,
So yeah.
very cool. And what's the name of this first single?
The first single was called August Forever.
August Forever.
The second one's called
Big Apple Flavor.
Big Apple Flavor.
It's an ode to New York City.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we have lyric videos and stuff for all that. And our third video is called Hideaway. That's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
We had an artist, Grace Ing, create a beautiful music video.
Yeah, an AI. She's an AI artist. So we've also sort of embraced technology. We've been using AI to help out to write pitch decks for us and do different things, do administrative work for
very
us.
cool.
Yeah.
Even doing work for hire contracts and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing. So we're both we're not. She's I think a little more nerdy when it comes to tech stuff than me, but I'm like whatever comes, man. I just embrace it and go like, okay, how can we integrate this into our stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, I started coding when I was 11.
Oh, wow.
So I've always been involved in computers, and my first computer was an Apple, and I learned how to write in BASIC, and that
cool.
attachment
I
and
had no
fascination
idea.
with technology.
I knew you were an amazing keyboard player and singer, but songwriter, but I didn't know that you.
Yeah, I got a tech nerd side.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. You learn something new about your friends every day.
Exactly. And I think I was telling you yesterday, kind of like about your cloud list, is that I've been using these things on all my stuff for the last 3 years.
Oh yeah.
For my SM7B, and I use them on my toms, for my to boost everything up. And
I hear that a lot from people with the toms, so I'm just curious, and I've said that to a couple people, and like, why would I need a cloud lifter on a tom? So, let's hear it straight from you, Dave. Why would I use a cloud lifter on a tom?
Because even with any dynamic mic, when like I have 1073 clones, right? So I can use those and get the gain structure that I need. But honestly, the gain on the cloud is so clean, it's so clear, so then I can really push those things without having to push the 1073. Because some people have different tastes. I don't want my toms to be grainy. I'm not looking for that sound, because that's what happens. The harder I hit those mic threes, I get more of that. This gives me that instant boost right on the top, and so I get the clarity in the toms that I'm looking for, and that's why I like using it. And the other thing, I use it on the SM7B all the time, and anybody I meet, I'm like, obviously you've done a great job with these things, and they're known, but when people don't know, because I have friends that they work in their apartment, they do whatever, and I'm like, look, you get one of these, you get an EV20 or you use a SM7B with a cloud lift, and you can damn near record in your kitchen.
It's amazing.
And and it'll be all right as long as the refrigerator's not buzzing you.
Wow. So we have the new product here at the show, the Cloud Lifter X. First of all, it gives you up to 36 dB of gain. So
that's amazing, and that right there is everything to me. For me, mid-range punch, clean mid-range punch is what I'm looking for from anything. And so if I can get that, because and the truth of the matter, I've got a studio with all this gear. I do work at home on a mid-level Focusrite that I do a lot of stuff with. I've scored 2 or 3 movies with this thing, and so a lot of times I'll stick that in front of it also, because it's great for anybody who's just trying to make their stuff sound good. It's just gonna make it. It's like, there's so many products out there where you're like, oh, you put it on there, like, oh, that's kind of different. It's just like, no, you put that thing in front of your microphone, it's like, oh, this is audibly fucking better, pardon my French. And I don't have to turn this thing up, because anybody knows, no matter what, if you hit any kind of digital shit too hard, there's always, it's gotten better over the years, but there's always that chance that you can get that little digital zap, and it's
not much nice to listen to.
No, it's the worst thing that's ever known to man for audio. So for that, these things alleviate that problem for me. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it very much. I'm glad that you came up with this concept.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's one feature with this that's new, and I can even demonstrate it right here on the mic. So right now we're in the full mode maximum position with the button here.
Okay.
And if I hit the button, that knocks it down to about 12 dB of gain, which is still more.
Sure, depending if you need, yeah.
So what I use that for, and I'll put it back out so we get the full sound. What I use that for is like if I want to run a, you know, like you say, a 57 on a tom or a snare,
right?
Something that's going to give you a lot of
high-end output, yeah.
Right. I can hit that button, and it's not padding the input, which is a very important feature of this. What it allows you to do is you can slam that transformer really hard to bring out a little bit of that characteristic.
Right, on the input, right?
On the input, right. So you can get a little bit more of that harmonic content and saturation, but still in a very ultra clean way with that massive bandwidth. So if you're in a situation where there's an extreme electrical issue in your wiring, or
buzzes,
old buildings in New York City come to mind, stuff like that, right? This thing will give you about 90 decibels of common mode rejection. So that hum and stuff that's coming from your inherent and your wiring and so forth can get reduced by 90 decibels, and that's plenty enough that you won't hear it.
No, that's huge. So
against the 36 dB gain.
I can't wait to use one in my apartment where I have that fine little buzz where whenever I play guitar I have to turn my back. I have to turn my back entirely to the computer.
You know what? You mentioned the Focusrite, which is interesting because we did some measurements recently with the Cloud Lifter, and we were looking at EIN figures. Everyone likes to cite the EIN figure of their preamp, right?
What does EIN figure stand for?
Equivalent input noise.
Okay.
So you take the noise floor against. Usually it's measured against the 60 decibels of gain. Okay. Right? So you take the noise floor and you add the 60 dB of gain to it and you come up with an EIN figure. The EIN figures of basically the best I've ever seen online is about minus 128, minus 129. But we did some measurements as a system with the Focusrite and some other preamps. And the EIN combination of the Cloud Lifter in line with a system on a Focusrite was minus 131.
Wow.
Which basically beats or equals the greatest, thing that people could make, right?
It's giving you.
I can't wait for you to try it, but the harder you hit it, that's what's cool about it, and that's why we put the switch in here. So you could slam it and get a little bit more of that character.
Right, but it doesn't output with that, right?
But it doesn't output with that, so you can basically turn your gain all the way down on your interface.
On the interface, which is what I really want to do anyway.
Well, I'm so glad that you came by the booth, and good to see you, and I'm really excited for your tour.
Thanks, man.
Your new record coming out, the single, and to see you guys down in Tucson with us sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Thanks, Rodger.
EnSpirits, Dave Tweedie, Victoria Theodore. Check them out. Where's the best place to find you guys online?
Our website, EnSpiritsMusic.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the things.
And you can find the music on Spotify.
On Spotify and Apple Music.
Wonderful.
Well, thanks again. Have a great show.
See you guys.